Alrighty. Hi, I'm Chris from Airwindows, and hey, you can do this. Oh wait, did I say this? That is kPlateA from last week. No. You can do this. Because this is kPlateB. Yep, we're still getting some more of them. And here's the deal. This is another big old EMT 140 plate. Put it this way. So these things have letters for a reason. We've got A here, and A has a certain sort of big, luscious sound going on. It's known to be a plate that has a lot of sort of sustain and dwell on it. But as it happens, every single Airwindows reverb is going to have entirely custom householder matrices, internal calculation. Basically, it's a whole separate engine each time. As such, you get this for plate B, because B is a distinct, separate EMT 140 reverb. That it's a particular one that sits in a particular place, and we don't really have to go into a lot of details, but the purpose of the project was trying to get something that was reminiscent of some very special plate reverbs out there. And, well, now, if you didn't have the plate reverb, what you would get would be this. It's fine. But if we give it Airwindows kPlateB, you might find that this has its own kind of quality going on. Or you can have both. That might be a little too much of a good thing though, so again, here's what we had before, kPlateA from last week. And it is a particular, or meant to be like a particular famous plate out there. But kPlateB with the same settings is going to sound really distinctly different. Now, the question, of course, is which one's better? Not which one's better as in Airwindows plugins versus anybody else's plugins who might also have a particular sort of plate reverb labeled A and B, C and D, and so on. But which is better in terms of which plate you'd want to use, and that's going to be kind of subjective. Here's the thing, since Airwindows plate reverbs are free, open source, MIT licensed, and you can have them in all different kinds of formats, the which is better becomes sort of like you can try something like plate A for a sort of deep, long kind of thing. You can go with plate B and not a plate A for the sort of atmospheric kind of thing that you might want, where you've got a space around things. It doesn't have to be loud. Here, we can make this be really very quiet and minor indeed. And it barely sounds like there's a reverb present at all, which is one of the things that you can do with the plate reverb that's actually good, is it'll hide. So it doesn't really sound like you're loaded with reverb. But then when you turn it off, there you have it. So I am going to continue to do the sort of lettered plate reverbs. Has to do with a particular project that I have in mind. I'm trying to give people some options, good options for reverb choices and things like that. And you know, people getting to have choices of things is good. Like, you can say, hey, you can have a perpetual license for the plugin. Well, for me, the perpetual license means, this is Airwindows we're talking about. So not only do you keep it, and it's never going to change out from under you, so old saves will continue to work right. If I have changes in the sound to a plugin, I'll give it a different name. And then it'll be a new distinct plugin, which has a different name, and the old one will continue to be supported and will continue to sound like it did on older mixes or whatever you've got. That's also why it takes me some time to get the sound of each of these right. But since it's also open source, the open source world is about letting people run with this kind of stuff and build it into their own things. People are going to want to put, say, kPlateB into something like they might make a special new DAW in 3D in which you're walking around, because it's done in the Unreal Engine or something, and you're walking around in various places. That's kind of advanced. I don't think anybody's got anything quite like that. But if they did, they'd be able to use the Airwindows plugins to support the sound aspects of what they're trying to make happen. And that's kind of cool. I hope it's kind of cool, because it's what I do. I hope you like kPlateB, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.